High life. What is this? Abir? What do you mean by that? High life? Were you supposed to say Hayashima or something?
Meant to say what I was meant to say.
Okay. How was your paper?
What paper was in stage 2? English was very easy. Maths was impossible.
Oh, so you think you won't get in then?
I might, as long as if I got the last
ones.
The last one's correct. If I got those some even like 2 correct, I think I'll get
It's
in.
fine. If you got 2 wrong, it's fine. Anu, camera on. Shweta, camera on. I don't know what is that. Please have your camera on. And there's another one. Can you read the name? The first one on your side.
Central.
Central. Yeah. Camera on. So we also have Abir with us. He can also tell us how was stage 1. Yes, Abir? So you can also tell the parents how was your stage 1? What you had in stage 1?
I actually remember some questions from stage 1.
Because some of the parents here, they don't know anything about this school and anything about what's happening. Yeah.
So I'll give you a brief introduction to the school St. Olave's. School St. Olave's is a boys' school which has 2 stages. It is an SET test. That means basically does not follow the pattern GL or CEM. It makes its own paper basically.
But they follow GL.
Not
But they
really.
make their own papers. Yeah, you're right.
The paper wasn't really GL. There was no GL.
I know it's not GL, but they always say that it's like a GL format, but it's not a GL format.
Not GL format. It was nowhere near GL format. Yes, it was very different for the other exams. Saturn and now, so very different.
Okay, so we have some parents here. So let's get started. And we have 2 kids here, 2 boys here. They can give us good introduction about the school. They have done stage 1, both of them, I think so. And it's like there's some information about the school. What we have? There's someone else wants to come in. Should we get the people in first? Yeah.
Yes.
Just let's get everybody in. So everybody has their cameras on except Fatima SK who just entered in. Please have your cameras on. It's good to know each other than just looking at the blank, nothing at all. Yeah. So it's basically we are just giving you some information about the school, and we have Abir is here, and so there's another one here. I can see another boy here. We might ask him if he's done stage 1, so he can also tell you guys how stage 1 is. So you have some information from these boys also can give you. And should we get started then? I don't think so. There's anyone else who wants to come in now. So basically, if you know about the school, you normally have 2 stages, as we know that. And grammar school admits pupils based on their performance in their selective test. This is a 2 round, like we all know that. And the 11 process designed to select children who are working at the very top of the academic ability range. Press the button. Oh, can't see myself on camera. I think so. She didn't press the button or something. So basically, we have 2 stages. We know that. And if your child is really, really good in maths, English, verbal, not verbal, then only try for this school. If you think your child is average and your child is not so good in studies, mean they're average in studies, there's somebody else wants to come in. Let's just keep entering some of the parents who are in here. So we want to welcome all the parents first. And just want to give you an introduction about the school, what we are talking about. This is a super selective school. So it means that your child has to be really, really intelligent in studies to get into the school. and they don't take according to your area. So you can apply anywhere in London. Doesn't mean that if you live in Essex, you should apply to this school. Sometimes we have to think sensible about which school we are applying to. Abhi, do you agree with that? Or you want people from Essex also come and give their entrance? What do you think?
I I think the people from the area
Should give it.
do it because then it becomes difficult.
Yeah, it becomes really difficult if you live outside, like if you live in Essex, or if you live really far from the school. The communication, commuting from one place to another is really hard. So I just want to give one example. Like my son used to go to Skinner's. That's from Chiselhurst. It's 22 miles, 23 miles.
What
It's a good
school?
school. Skinner's. That's in Tunbridge.
Skinner's Googled.
Skinner's Grammar School. That's in Kent. It's in Tunbridge. So it's 24 miles from my place. I took the school thinking like, oh my God, it's a grammar school. Wow, my son has got into a grammar school. I just took it. And after taking the school, the train does go from Orpington. We do have trains which go from Orpington, and it's like one stop away. But still, as you know, there are so many strikes and things about trains these days. So it takes time for us to reach. So that's why when he had given his GCSEs, we decided to go to St. Olive's Grammar School because it's easier. It's in Orpington and we are in Chiselhurst. So you have to think sensibly when you're choosing a school, and you have two stages for this school, as we all know that stage one and stage two. There are boys here who have given stage one, and they will be waiting for the results to come for stage two. So basically, you have to think about, so how many boys are invited? So all these boys who have given stage one, out of these boys, this is St. Olive's Grammar School will write to you to your son's stage one result in mid-October. If your child is one of the 450 boys. So basically, I think so. How many boys took the entrance this year? Must be 1,500 sometime, something near that.
Yeah, 1,500 nearby.
Yeah, 1,500, right? So out of 1,500, they are going to invite 450 boys in stage two back in November. So stage two is normally in 17 October, November, sorry, not October. And before listing St. Olive's Grammar School as a preference on your form, check the admission policy and make sure child is eligible. This is something all the parents keep asking. If my child has passed stage one, can I write my son's name in for that school in your secondary form? Yes, you can, but you have to be careful that first wait for your child to tell you you know your child, how your child has done stage one. Can I please have the cameras on of Anu? I don't have your camera on because it'll be easier for us to know SK you have entered in. Can we have your cameras on? Because if you have your cameras on, it'll be good for us to know each other. Thank you. And this no Niti, I think so. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. But if you guys have your cameras on, it'll be great for us to interact with each other. Otherwise, the interaction would be really confusing for me to interact with you guys because I won't know who I'm talking to. So basically, they are going to invite 450 boys. Now, what they have been tested, they always you have maths, English, verbal, not verbal, and the paper is 1 hour. I mean, if I'm right, 1 hour 20 minutes or 1 hour 60 minutes.
One paper's 1 hour.
So you had everything in 1 hour, right? Maths, English,
Yes,
verbal, not verbal.
the verbal, the non-verbal, the maths, and the English.
So everything
Generally,
you have to do in 1 hour. So can you just tell us how was your maths? Because I know it. You have first you have the maths, or you have the
no,
English first.
you had English, then maths, then verbal reasoning, then non-verbal reasoning. So basically, let me give you a quick synopsis. Okay, so first of all, the English. The English had a half. Okay, look. Imagine an A4 sheet, and then there's half of that, and then that's the English comprehension. And then you have 15 questions following that. Then you have the maths, also pretty simple. Yes. If you use your brain, you can solve it easily. Then you have the verbal reasoning, which the topic anagrams came a lot, many times. Okay? And then you have the non-verbal reasoning, which was not really like non-verbal reasoning. It did basic. It was not like the non-verbal reasoning I've been practicing for. It was more different.
What
Yeah, I was
different
more
one means like cubes or cuboids?
Cuboids did not come. Cubes did not come this year in any exam.
Yeah, cubes never come in any exam, but they always tell you to prepare for that.
Yeah, I just want to see how shall I present it.
Sorry? Didn't get it. Can you repeat your question again? Sorry. I mean, somebody said something. Was that
I could not really hear that. It was a bit inaudible.
okay? I think so. They wanted to ask you something. Do you want to?
Anybody want to ask me a question about the exam? Anybody?
I think so. No.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
this, the verbal reasoning was the most difficult, followed by non-verbal reasoning, then maths, then English.
Okay, then I'm done. Then I'm alright. I can finish this off now. So I'll just change the macro a little bit.
Oh, must be talking to him. So we have all this then. And basically, you know how your son has done in stage 1, and you know that they'll be invited for stage 2 or not. So what do you think, Abhi? Will you be invited for stage 2?
Maybe, yes.
Maybe. So this
Yes.
is like, if he's invited for stage 2, then only his parents are going to write that school's name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
I
So
have
you
no
all
idea
have
what
to
my
wait for
parents
the
are
results to
planning for
come.
me. I have no idea what my parents are planning for me.
You know what your parents are planning. Okay.
So what's the weightage? What's the weightage of the stage 1 and stage 2? Do we know?
Okay,
Sorry,
so
yes.
basically there were around 1,500 children this year. That's what Miss said, and 450 will be accepted for the second stage.
No, I'm asking for the weightage. So, like in certain schools, they reduce, they take certain portion of your stage 1 score.
Yeah, I know.
25%.
They do, yeah. Here also they do. They take your stage 1 and your stage 2 results together.
Yeah, they do it like 50-50. Same with like Sutton.
Yeah, they do same like that. And they take your maths, I think. So maths is the one they consider. And if you have a tie, they will look at your maths and then they'll look at your creative writing.
And
So your
what's the,
stage 2 creative writing is very important for stage 2.
sure. Maybe we will cover it. I know this, maybe I'm asking ahead of time, but it will be good to understand stage 2, what really is there, how many marks, how much the duration, etc., etc. Maybe it's coming in your presentation, anyways.
Yeah, it's for stage 1 because that's the one you all have to understand when to write your child's name in stage. If your child has passed stage 1, then only you have to write your child's name. And I think so the result is out of 60 marks or something. So all the boys, I'm telling about last year, what we had. Last year, the boys who got more than 47, 48 or 49 marks were invited back for stage 2. And the boy who wrote his name, his school name, the first preference of that St. Olive's got in. And he had got 49 out of 60. So if you get more than that, then only you should write your child's name. If you think your boy has just passed stage 1, you should think twice writing that school's name in your form, because you all will be taking one preference away. So basically, this is the second one now.
And why do you
And
suggest that, Ashima?
sorry.
Is it because is the reason you suggest that? Is it because the first stage marks are considered in the overall percentage? Is that's the reason? So if the child has just passed the first stage, If he does really well in the second stage, he does have a chance, right?
He does have a chance, but you compare both the stages, remember that. And if he's
Right, that's what I'm
done
saying. Yeah,
better in
okay.
stage 2 and not done better in stage 1, when you combine both the stages, your marks will definitely won't go high.
Okay, okay. How do they combine it? What formula do they use? Because
We
Sutton
have no
publishes.
clue. It's written in that what on their website they have written that they take both the stages, both they consider both the stages. And remember that they invite 450 boys are invited back. And now from 450 boys, only I think so 104 boys are taken in. No, 120 boys are taken in. 120, and 8 boys are something related to their church and things like that. So the
Okay,
chances
so
are really less if you have just passed.
okay, all right. Interesting. And do you, I saw a post suggesting that the maths is looked at first, which is maths second stage or maths first stage?
They combine both the stages, first and second.
Okay. All
So
right.
everything
Okay.
is
So maths.
combined. That's the thing. That's why if your child has just passed, it's
Right.
better to consider Kent schools than going for this school.
Okay. Okay. So maths they consider first, then you mentioned creative writing, and after that, standard comprehension?
They have never said anything. They say these are the two things you always compare, maths and creative writing.
Okay, that's what they said. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, because there's not much on the website. It's not very not a lot of information is present on the St. Olives, surprisingly.
Yeah, and there's one thing I want to tell you. I mean, my son goes to that school. If you're looking for a Asian society, because my son used to go to Skinner's, and Skinner's is in Tunbridge. So the crowd in Tunbridge was Britishers and Indians and mixed. But in this school, my son said, Mom, the crowd is more about Asians.
Oh, don't say we
Okay.
started stage 2, honestly. There were only Asians. Only Asians.
He's the one who's given the test, he can tell you. So
Yeah,
it's
he's
more
right.
of Asian society there. It's like they do celebrate all the Asian festivals, like Diwali is there, and they have all the Indian festivals they celebrate, and we keep getting emails about all the festivals what they celebrate. So if you're looking for Indian society stuff, to then look for this school, because if you're looking for a crowd, you want your child to have little British crowd, so look for Kent schools.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good insight. Thank you.
Because I have seen both the school difference. I mean, when I went for parents' evening in Skinner's, and went for parents' evening. Now my son is in sixth form here. It's a lot of difference. I mean, it was looking like I have come back to India here. It was. I
Right.
mean, I never saw a single Britisher, and they are very rare who go
That's
into
true
this
for
school.
all grammar schools, though. That's true for
I
all.
don't think so, because in Tunbridge Wells, where my son used to go in Skinner's, in Kent schools, you have more crowd of other
It's more
kids like.
more mixed.
Yeah. How was the crowd in Wilson? You also attended Wilson Stage 1 Stage 2.
Wilson, there were only Asians. Nothing else. There was
All
one.
Asians.
There was one African person, yeah, who was assisting us. But apart from that, there were only Asians.
Yeah, that's there. So basically, you'll be a difference in accordance with the parent preference on the common application form. I've told you that. Results in stage 2, you have maths paper. Results in stage 2, English writing paper. And you have English reading paper, and you have one set. Last year, I'm going to tell you, in stage 2, they had a comprehension, and the creative writing was continuity of the comprehension. So they said continue the comprehension, continue now,
Oh,
continue the story now.
there was something similar, but apart from it was about this refugee camp, and then there was this piece of persuasive writing about why you should donate to refugee camps.
Refugees, yeah, you got for refugees for stage 2, right?
Yes, refugees.
Yeah. So this is what I told you guys. They always give you something which is in the news. So you have to look at the news, what's common in the news these days, what's coming in the news. So we have the war and we have the refugees. These are the things which are most famous these days. It's everywhere. And your school also had refugee kids coming in.
When? Oh, yes, we have 2 refugee kids.
Yeah, so they always copy all these things.
What
So you
kind of
have two
creative
stages, you know
writing?
that. Sorry?
Yeah, sorry, go on. No, I was just, I probably you're coming to it. Go on.
Yeah, it's stage 1, stage 2, we know that.
Mhm.
And in stage 1, you have maths, English, and reasoning. Reasoning covers your verbal and non-verbal. They say it's a GL assessment, but it's not. They make their own papers. But if you look on their website, they keep saying that it's similar to GL assessment. But every year they have something new which is added in their papers. And the boys do struggle in that sometimes. So you have to practice your GL papers, and a lot of vocabulary is there, because vocabulary is something which comes in all the papers. I mean, if you're doing Kent, Bexley, and all of that. And Bexley also this year has gone to GL. But I think so Bexley still had vocabulary. Abhi, did you give Bexley this year?
Yes, I did in my school. Vocabulary, yes, there were vocabulary, but it's mostly GL.
Mostly GL, yeah, because I shifted to GL. So you had no shuffle sentences this year?
No shuffle sentences.
No clauses?
Actually, talking about verbal reasoning, very strange, but 3 of the questions I had done before in practice papers, I actually done it. They were actually in the booklet, the question paper.
Which one? And the vocabulary was also there, because everybody said the vocabulary was easy, was not so hard this year.
Yeah, but also, the verbal reasoning questions. There were actually, some verbal reasoning questions that I've done before.
You guys are lucky, because this was the first year. It's from CEM to GL, so they don't wanted it to be hard. Maybe that's why.
Now it's on.
So in maths, stage 2, you will be having a maths, and you have to show your working out, but you're not given marks for your working out, but it's better to show the working out, because you know that they appeal, when you have the appeal, they look at your maths, and when they look at your maths, they also will be looking at your working out that time, which is not being marked when you give the test. So it's better to do that. You have the comprehension. uh I think so the comprehension, what I have come to know, is multiple choice in stage 2 also, but you have the creative writing, so you won't have the comprehension which is standard. But the thing is that we don't know, they can change anytime, so we always tell, when anybody practice for stage 2, that all of you should do creative, the comprehension should be standard. You should always practice standard comprehension. And the creative writing, obviously try doing a lot of private school papers. I did that in stage 2 when we did for Southern. I made these boys and girls practice a lot of creative writing. I mean, we also had a lot of creative writing tasks to be done. So we did a lot of them with them. And the same will apply to them when they come for stage 2. You have to do a lot of creative writing. And there's practice for private school papers, because they always have a habit of copying Seven Oaks. So we always tell the parents to practice all the Seven Oaks papers. And the worst thing about the private school papers is they don't have explanations. They don't even give you the answers. So if you are really, really good in maths, then only try doing private school papers. I think so. In Indian families, all the kids are clever in maths. So the parents can work out the answers. I've done one of the examples, what we do. In creative writing, you can get something like a letter writing. So you might have a letter to write, or you will have a persuasive writing, like in stage 2 in Sudden, they told them to write about, no, to give a speech about refugees, right? Something like that you guys got, I remember. So they had something like that. And there's no choice given. So it's not like you'll be given a choice for creative writing. Abhi, did you get any choice for creative writing? No. No choice. He's shaking his head.
Sorry, responding a little late. There was only one persuasive writing.
Yeah, they
And
don't
that
give
was-
you any choice. It's not
But for
like in
Kent,
private schools they do.
for Kent they did. Kent they
In
did.
what?
In Kent.
Yeah,
Kent
Kent
they
is
gave.
different. They won't give you. In stage 2, they don't, they want you to be good in all these things. That's why they never give you any choices.
So that's a
Okay.
surprise. Question on the St. Olive's second stage. In the sample paper, they have clearly mentioned it's standard. So I'm surprised that since how long they have only given multiple choice to the kids.
Only the comprehension is what the kids tell us every year. Comprehension is multiple choice, but the
Yeah.
creative writing is different.
Yes, of course. But that's a surprise because the sample paper they have, even the
Yeah,
PTA,
it's
which
not.
says
It's standard. Yeah,
it's standard and it's quite high level poetry.
yeah, they do get poetry.
Okay.
It's like it depends. If last year they had a comprehension, so this year might be a poetry. So every year it's like 1 year comprehension, 1 year poetry.
Okay. Okay. But it could be either, right? It could be
Could
multiple
be
choice
either.
or standard.
But yeah, it depends because sometimes kids come and say that, oh, we had to write down about the comprehension. Sometimes they come and they say that the comprehension was multiple choice. So this is something which is a confusion for us. It's standard or is multiple
Multiple
choice.
choice. Okay.
So it's
And
better to
what's the
practice both.
total? Yeah, and what's the total amount of time they have for the second stage English? Is it 50 minutes, 60 minutes,
I think
one
so.
and a
It's
half?
more. It's because English they have creative writing and comprehension. So time must be more. When I ask the boys who give the test, they get so confused because that's the last entrance they all are giving.
Right.
So the memory of a child is they only remember what they do there. When they come and they tell us and they say they, oh, I think so must be more than 1 hour. That's for sure. Because nobody tells us how much time is given to them, but it should be because if they have creative writing and comprehension and creative writing, if you look at all the private schools, they normally give you 40 minutes for creative writing. So if they are giving you 40 minutes for creative writing, they must be giving you 20 minutes for comprehension or something. That's 60 minutes for English, and the same thing should be for maths.
What do you mean
Because
by
the maths
poetry?
is standard and you have to show you're working out, which is not, the children are not even given marks for the working out.
Right. Okay.
But it's good to have the working out because when you appeal, they look at your maths. So when they look at your maths, you can at least say that my child is so good in maths. Because sometimes what happened, I have seen in my tuition itself what these boys do. They just know the answers. They do it in their brain and they just write the answer. So sometimes it's better to show you're working out because if your answer is wrong, at least your working out is right. When you appeal, you can say, see, my son got confused. He was so nervous. So it's always is a good idea to show the working out for whatever you're doing. And the thing is, as we know that they compare both the stages. And in the secondary form, if you are putting this school as your first choice, and imagine if you have put Wilson as your second choice, and if your child doesn't pass stage 2, which all the parents say, if my child has done really well in stage 1 but doesn't pass stage 2, how do you know? You won't come to know if your child has passed stage 2 or not till the results are out. So in March, if your child has got that school, means your child has passed both the stages. And there's one thing in this school is they have a waiting list. So if your boy has not got in the waiting list, just accept the school you get, because I know some boys who have got this school in September, October. They had accepted the other schools, but they keep calling the school and they were going on asking the rank their child was on, because some boys do this school entrance just because to know what level they are, especially if your boy has is in private school. I also have some private school boys, and I recommend the parents to give this school entrance to know how the private school entrance will be. So the same thing, if I'm giving this preference to my tuition kids, like do this school, who are clever, the same thing would be what the other tuition centers would be telling them to do. So that's why don't feel hope and just accept the school was given to you. Because sometimes what we do, like we really get senti and like, oh my God, my son didn't get that school. And you reject all the offers you got. Just accept the offer you get because you don't want the council to give you any random school. So always write one comprehensive school in your offers, whatever you in your secondary form. It's better to write that because I also made a video saying that these days there are comprehensive schools which have grammar streams in them. So try looking at that and just try writing about them and just do that. It's really good because you don't want the council to give you any random school. That would be really bad for your child. So I've just made one of the questions, I think so, found in one of the private schools. They just give you some random questions to do. Are you going to working that out? I don't have the answer for this. So if you're working that out, you must be giving the answer yourself. There's anything you guys want to ask me? I think so somebody's writing something.
Yeah, can I ask a question? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So a couple of questions. One, what do you mean by poetry? Is it a poetry comprehension or something else? That's question number one. Question number two is that I have seen online that in stage 2, people get marks like 190, 140, 150, etc., etc. So what is the total maximum marks in the stage 2? Is it 200?
We don't know. It's never been declared.
No, but
Because
marks are
stage
available
2
online.
results, you don't even get the results for stage 2.
But anonymized results are available online, by the way. I don't know whether you're informed.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Are you talking about Saturn?
You must be talking about Southern, but because
No, I'm talking
Olives,
about
I have
St.
never seen it. Seriously.
I'm definitely talking about St. Olave. This is available online on Freedom of Information thing. But anyways, it's okay.
Saturn have never given out results.
Exactly. Saturn never gives out marks to you.
Agreed.
Unless you fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were.
They don't give you. There was a lot of arguments was going in that group, in our St. Olive's Grammar School group. The parents were asking if my child passed stage 1 and I don't know if my child will pass stage 2 or not. Why should I write the school's name? Because as parents we know, and the thing is about the school is which nobody likes is your stage 2 is after you fill up the forms. So it's after 31st October. So it's really it's a gamble to write the school name.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if your child is really clever and you know that your boy will get in, you can just write. And poem comprehensions, I can share one with you. There are lots in private school papers. If you look at the Seven Oaks have a habit of doing poem comprehensions. And I can share in the group, I can share with you guys one of the poem comprehensions they have in one of the private school papers. I think so. Somebody has again written something here. What do you mean by poet? Oh, that's you asked. Okay, I've answered that. Can't see myself in camera. Who was that? Shweta. You can see me in camera now. And I always say that for letter writing, always try looking, because something I have seen in letter writing, what these boys normally do, they don't write like the addresses on the top. Whose address should go where? Do you know whose address should go where? So this is something the boys don't know. So this is something you all have to practice about that. There's any other thing you want to ask anyone? Have your boys given stage 1, all of you, or you're just waiting for the results, or you are going to prepare for St. Olive's next year? Is anybody giving this year stage 2? Nobody knows, right? Like now. No, I think so somebody
I
got
have a
disconnected.
question. Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you can ask.
Hi there. Can I just ask what is the common, like, do we have a trend of like the topics for stage 2, like creative writing? So is it normally like letters or
It depends.
fiction, non-fiction?
Yeah, it depends every year.
Okay.
Because last year what they had was like they had a comprehension and it was like a story. They just asked them to complete the story, continue the story in your own way now. What would happen next, basically? That's what they
Okay.
got last year. And a year before that, they had to write a letter to the consul. So
Okay.
it's different every year. So they had a something related with the comprehension. They had to write the letter to the consul to tell the consul that there's too much of, I think so. What I'll definitely I'll see and let you know, because I know there was a letter, not last year, last year.
Okay. And then because on the St. Olave's website, the stage 2 sample paper, it shows there is like a comprehension, which is multiple choice, and then it goes on to poem comprehension. And then
There
it
are
goes
two
into,
comprehensions they get.
yeah. Is
Yeah,
that a fixed format? So like every year they would have like multiple choice comprehension, and then they would have a poem comprehension. Is that like a standard thing, or they could
they could
possibly
differ.
get like non-poem comprehension, like say like I don't know, like an extract from a book, and then they have to write the standard format? Is that something that comes out as well?
It depends. Every year is different. That's what I'm saying. But I know that there are two comprehensions. That's for sure. And one, what the boys come and tell us is multiple. One could be multiple, and other could be standard.
Oh, okay.
So must be that then, because it's 1 hour paper. So in 1 hour, I don't know what they do in 1 hour.
Okay. And then for the maths, can I just check, is the format like quite fixed? So meaning we all know it's long form, so they have to kind of, it's subjective. But in terms of the number of questions and the time, is that fixed, or that also changes every year? Like, so say,
It's 1 hour. That's for sure. I know
oh,
for maths, it's 1 hour, and they have to show their work. They have to show their working out, but they are not marked for the working out.
okay. And how many questions in the 1 hour?
I have no clue. Nobody tells us. If we ask the
Okay.
boys who give the entrance, also they are, because this is the last entrance. You know how the boys are.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
They get so excited. They're like, "Oh, miss, it's finished," and they'll come and tell us it was nice. It was. I know that the questions are hard, and normally boys leave towards the end. They leave one or two. The last two one are the hardest one.
Hmm.
So they are
So,
the one they say the questions are really hard. So they normally leave it.
okay, the last few, yeah. And can I check if the first stage, the SAT, let's say if my son, it sounds like from at the start, the marks needs to be like 49 out of, or and above out of 60 to be able to get in based on past history. But let's say if my son gets like 45, would you advise that we kind of just forget about Sinolaf and kind of like move on? Or do you think 45 there's still a chance? Or how do we like,
I
what
think
is
so,
the
45, because remember that they had 1,500 boys have given the entrance, and out of that, only 450 are taken in, and he's lucky to be in. But again, you have to see what I normally do is I do it every year. I'll do this year also. I normally make a Google form for the parents to fill up to know what the maximum marks are each child has got. And this helps other parents to know where the child is. So it gives us a pie chart to tell us the maximum marks what have gone last year. I know the maximum marks boys had got was out of 60 was 54 something, 54, 55. So it's really high marks to get in for stage 2.
And what would you say is the minimum marks? Not the maximum, but like minimum,
Sorry, yeah, maximum was, sorry.
But what about minimum? Like I'm just wondering whether
I know
like
the boy who had got 43 or 40, 46 he got, and the passing was 45 or something. That boy didn't do stage 2 because his parents were like, if my son has got 45 out of 60, the chances for him to get in stage 2 is less.
Oh, okay, all right. I
So
see.
instead of that, he got into QE.
Okay.
So they were like, they didn't even give stage 2. So as I'm saying, there'll be a lot of boys who would be giving stage 1 and might consider not to go for stage 2.
Okay.
Looking at their marks. Because
okay.
Because we have an advantage. The boys who are giving sudden, they will get the results out next towards the end of next week, maybe, or so if your child can get Wilson or not. But in this school, you can't even get to know if your child can get in or not.
Okay, so if the marks, it sounds like if it's 46 even, we should just not write the St. Olaf on the CAF form, right? We just kind of forget about it and move on, right? I think we are talking about like
if your child has got more than 45, if he got 46, 47, just go for stage 2. Just see how it does stage 2.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's a hassle for the boys to study for stage 2.
Yeah.
Have you given, what entrances have you given?
Okay.
What entrances have you given except this school?
Oh, no. We are just planning for Kent and Bexley, and because we don't live anywhere near any of these schools.
Okay, your child is in years 5 right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a time to think about it.
Okay. All right. No, thank
I think
you
so.
so much.
You should give him if you should write stage 1 because it's a good experience for the boys to go and see how super selective schooling entrances are.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Hashima.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think so. A lot of people have. There were so many of them. Everybody left. There's any other questions you guys need to ask? I'll be posting this video, but remember, I'll be just hiding your faces. So nothing would be seen, nothing would be done. And we also have stage 2 course coming. If any one of you are interested for stage 2-1, just let us know after your results are out. I think let's see if anybody wants to ask. Shweta has left. Oh, she's here. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. And thanks. I think so. All the boys also gone who had given you guys good advice. That's all for today. Thanks for joining coming live today, all of you, and have a good day. And there's any other questions you guys need to ask, just try dropping me a message or anything. I will be able to answer your questions. That's it. Thank you.